Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about a card effect called Free Thought by Steve Langston, released with TCC Magic. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So on today's episode, I will be chatting with you about Free Thought, okay, that is put out by Steve Langston together with TCC Magic. So I have previously reviewed something else of Steve's, something that he calls Corner Piece, all right, which was a super visual piece by piece torn and restored card effect. Okay, so if you haven't seen that episode on my channel, do look it up. You know, it's a really visual torn and restored effect, and one that I quite enjoyed learning as well. But today we'll be looking at another card effect from Steve, and this one has got kind of like a mental flavor to it, okay, and it's called Free Thought. Okay, so let's talk about what the effect is all about. So at the start of the routine, what happens is you would have a deck of cards and you would spread the cards face up, on your table, right, on a performing surface, and a spectator is invited to look down onto the deck and to think of any card that they can see. Okay, this card can be any card that they can see, and it's just merely thought of, they don't physically pick any card out from the spread. So after that is done, the cards are gathered up, placed aside, and then you go into your mind reading process, right? So you go through some bits of mind reading, you ascertain the card, all right, you work it out. So for example, it's the King of Hearts, all right? So the spectator is, amazed at that point. It's like, wow, you got the card. And then you pick up the cards, you spread through the cards face up, and they see that the King of Hearts isn't there, okay? And they can see, the other kings, right? The diamonds, the clubs, the spades, but the hearts isn't there. And in the middle of the deck, there is one card that is face down, okay? So it's just magically turned face down, apparently. The face down card is placed aside, the whole deck is spread through, the King of Hearts is not there, and that's it, okay? So apparently the card has magically turned over. At which point, you tell the spectator that, what they saw was just an illusion. The face down card is turned face up. It is seen to be blank. And then you remove from your pocket the actual King of Hearts. Okay, so that card that they thought of wasn't even in the deck to begin with. So that's placed aside. And then you close the whole routine by saying, well, this whole thing didn't really happen, it's all an illusion. You now turn the cards face up, and when you spread the cards face up again, it is seen that the entire deck is now blank. Okay, and that is how the routine ends. So that is the effect for Free Thought, and well, together with the box itself, what you will receive is also a tutorial video, okay, and on the video itself, you will have an introduction to the project. Steve will perform for you the effect, all right? There'll be a studio performance of the effect, so then you can see how the effect plays out from start to finish, and after which, Steve will take you through the entire workings of the effect, how to set up the deck itself, how to perform the effect, and how to handle all the various scenarios that can come up. Everything is well taught, so you should have no problems understanding the workings of the effect. So this is a card routine that is kind of like based upon existing ideas, right? And I think the first thing that comes to mind, which Steve does mention as well, is the John Kennedy Mind Power deck. Okay, the Mind Power deck, which was actually, popularized, I think, at one point by Darren Brown in his effect called Smoke. And then I've also previously reviewed another similar kind of an effect called Divine and Conquer, okay, by Leo Reed. All right, and on that video that I did, I actually compared the Mind Power deck along with the Divine and Conquer deck as well, all right, just to show you the pros and cons of both of these approaches to performing this kind of, thought of card vanishing kind of effect. So what Free Thought is kind of like, when I looked at it, I realized it was a lovely combination, of the Mind Power deck together with the Divine and Conquer deck. Okay, so if those two decks got together and had a child, I suppose, it would be this deck, all right, the Free Thought deck. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what you get with the package and some of my thoughts as well on the effect. So free thought comes to you in this box, all right, really nice hard shell box, and inside the box you will get 2 decks of cards, okay, 2 decks, and one of which is a regular deck, and the other is the gaffed deck, all right, to perform the routine. Okay, so the deck is actually based on the new cards that TCC has released. You know, these are I believe they're called the Triumph deck. Okay, you know, they have this on their website. You know, you can buy these. I think available in individual or in bricks maybe. But they handle quite well. You know, they feel slightly different from bikes. I'm not sure how to describe the difference, but they do work well. They spread well as well. Okay, so you know, this is the Triumph deck, all right, from TCC. You can have a look at that on the website. You know, if you're into like playing cards and stuff. And then you will also get the free thought deck. Okay, now this deck, well, I can't really show you guys the deck much, all right, much of the deck, and if you do get this, you will understand why. But I can tell you, it is, well, heavily gaffed, obviously, you know, and the spectators will not be able to handle this deck at all. And through the course of the routine, you know, they won't be, right? You know, nobody handles the deck at all. You know, you are in control of the deck, and if you were to use this effect as a closing effect, you can just perform with the other deck. Okay, first, you know, some regular routines, you know, keep this deck, perform something else, you know, coins, some mind reading stuff perhaps, and then close with this deck. Okay, so you can take that approach, but yes, it's a heavily gaffed deck, and you will not be able to, you know, have the spectators handle it or shuffle it, you know, whatsoever. So in terms of the physical handling of the cards for the routine, I think, well, there is going to be some, well, just one, I think, one kind of you know, sleight that is involved in the course of the routine. It's a moment that is well covered, you know, and I think it's a move that most card workers out there will know. But yes, there is a sleight involved, you know, to bring about the finale. All right, the blank display of the entire deck. The deck itself, you know, as it comes to you, well, you can perform the routine without the prep, okay, that is involved with the deck, because Steve does recommend some really simple, shall we say, prep work and surgery, okay, to the deck itself to ease the handling, all right, of some of the phases in between. But in playing with the routine, I found that it's not necessary for me. You know, I don't favor the kind of adjustments, okay, that are kind of required or recommended rather, all right, to perform the deck, you know, to perform with the deck. But you can do that. For me, if I were to perform this, there is just some sleight of hand approaches which I prefer to use. Okay, just so that, you know, I can keep the deck as it is and I don't have to alter the deck in any way. But yes, the physical aspect of the routine itself, you know, it's really simple. There's really nothing to it. There's just that one move, you know, which I mentioned. But again, it's well covered, you know, so I don't think you'll have a problem with that. You know, and it's to bring about the, you know, the vanish of the faces, right, where the whole deck turns blank. The difficulty in this is, I think, in the mental part of the method. Okay, particularly in kind of working out the spectator's thought of card. All right, now if you are familiar with the Mind Power deck, you know, or the Divine and Conquer deck, you know, or you know, kind of similar kinds of approaches, right? Then, you know, you should not have a problem working out how to go about it. Okay, but if you are completely new to this sort of a method, well, there'll be some work for you to do on your part, all right? There's some memory work involved, and you do need to practice, you know, the various kinds of scenarios, just so you can move really smoothly, okay, verbally as well as mentally, as you kind of, you know, work out the spectator's card. Okay, so that part of the method, I think, has to be rehearsed really well. Just to ensure, you know, a really smooth performance of the effect, so that, you know, getting the card feels like mind reading, and it doesn't look like, you know, you're doing exactly what you are doing. In terms of pocket management, well, you can do this walk around, I suppose, right? Even without a table, I think you can, just by spreading the cards, in your hands and having a spectator think of a card that way. Pocket management wise, well, there are several options available to you, right? If you've got a way of handling the when you produce the thought of card from your pocket, right? That aspect of the routine, if you have your own preferred method to do that, then by all means, just use your favorite method to kind of work out how to go about that. So yeah, that's the only part that will require some pocket management. But other than that, if you're just going to be doing a whole bunch of regular card effects, right, with one of these decks, and then you just have to carry another one of these decks to perform free thought with. So a cool thing to mention to you guys is that you don't have to strictly stick to this back design of this deck, right? If you don't like to use this, perhaps you can really easily just substitute some cards from a regular bicycle back design, okay, and then you can just use the gaffs in this deck and make it look as though it's bicycle, okay, which means of course you can perform with a regular deck of bikes first and then switch into your gaffed deck of bikes, okay. So you can perform this using bikes, Phoenix, whatever, all right, as long as you have the right kind of shall we say gaffs, okay, to add to this deck, then this can be really any back design you want. But yeah, that is the effect, all right? That is free thought. I hope I've covered it in enough detail, all right, for you guys to decide whether this is something for you to pick up or not, all right? If you have any questions, I suppose you can put them in the comment section down below and I will try to answer them. I want to thank TCC Magic for really kindly sending me a copy of Free Thought for me to have a look at and chat with you guys on this show. If you'd like to have a look at Free Thought for yourselves, do visit the link in the description box down below. Alright, but that's all for today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it as well. And till the next episode, do stay safe, take care of yourselves, have fun with your magic and your mentalism, and I will see you on the next one.